Welcome. I'm so ecstatic to have you on board.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nikki. Thank you for having me. This is such a pleasure.
Wonderful. So first of all, I'd love to hear about you. I'd love to hear about how you started your career.
I'm actually from India originally, from Mumbai, and I finished my graduation there and I flew over to the UK to do my education. So that was the master's that I did in the UK. And then post that, I decided to continue working over there because I didn't want to return back home. And that's where digital marketing actually happened. So obviously, when I went to uni, there was no such thing as digital marketing. It was only traditional marketing. But then as in how I picked up a job, the on-the-job kind of threw me in around corners and digital marketing just so happened. So that's how I began. And then obviously the journey brought me to Dubai eventually, where even then I continued working with a company that was based out of London. So a lot of in and out, a lot of travel happening. I was actually managing marketing across 9 countries for them.
Oh, amazing.
So yeah, that is where the international marketing piece came into play. But eventually, I think we all find a calling. And my calling was always the fact that I wanted to work for more than one brand, offer my services to more than one person. And that's where I started doing my own thing and Light Digital happened.
Wow, that's amazing. And how long have you been in Dubai for now?
Just over 10 years.
Over 10 years.
Yes.
That's incredible. I always say that people, when you're speaking to them, they've either been in Dubai for like 1 year or they've been here for 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's
exactly.
really in between.
Yeah.
Other than now you, which is 9 years, which is magnificent. So not only do you have this amazing business that you're navigating, but you're with a child. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
It's your first little baby as well on the way.
It's going to be your first one, yes.
How has that been?
Oh, well, it's been very, very exciting. So I have to admit that, I've wanted it for the longest of time. But obviously, with all the other commitments you have, with your lifestyle and everything else, we took it really slow. We said later. And, then it finally happened. So I am super excited. Really, really looking forward to it. And I know it's going to turn the page in my life. So yeah. Just waiting to see what that holds.
Are you going to recruit little Baba into the team as soon as it's possible?
Maybe.
So tell me, how have you found navigating motherhood and, you have a successful business.
Mm-hmm.
Time is, not of the essence.
Yeah.
How have you found that?
I mean, the only wish I have right now is, if I could just have 48 hours in a day.
Yeah.
Honestly, so much going on because business doesn't stop. Work doesn't, pause. Everything. It's just like everything around you works at the same pace, but then suddenly you feel yourself kind of slowing down or wanting to slow down because you're trying to make space for something new. Something you've never done before. So yeah, I think work-life balance is very, very critical, and it has been for the past 6 months. Just hoping and looking to get better every day. Now that I'm towards the last leg of my pregnancy, I am trying to, deliberately slow down on work as much as possible. Like, I mean, I say slow down as in the business doesn't slow down. It's just that the team starts doing more than I would do. And, try and hand over, try and delegate a lot more than I would previously. But at the same time, look at growing the team. So getting in some more people as well to do the different areas that I would personally manage otherwise.
Okay, fantastic. So tell me, what advice would you give women who are expecting a baby and balancing both pregnancy and work life?
Okay, so from the background that I come from, everyone kind of tells you to slow down. Everyone kind of tells you to do less. Get more sleep, get more food, get more this, get more that. But I have been doing a little bit of all of that too. I'm not going to deny that. However, I do feel that, the idea of having someone new in your life is to adapt him or her to the lifestyle that you have.
Yeah.
Because today you may pause, but then eventually you would want to go back to the life that you always had. So if you are someone who lives on a busy schedule, then for me personally, I've continued to do that. I've continued to keep active. I've continued to do as much as I used to do. Maybe a little bit lesser, but, I haven't really changed a lot of things. So my only first advice would be, continue with what you're doing. Listen to your body, obviously, but continue with what you're doing so that, you keep pace with your normal life. And then suddenly you don't feel like, oh my God, something has changed or something has happened. You shouldn't have to feel that. You should just be able to feel that whatever new is coming your way, you're kind of coinciding it with your current life so that even in the future, you're able to continue doing that. But at the same time, I mean, you've got to enjoy the both worlds, obviously. So wherever you feel that you need to pause and play, please do pause and play, because that really helps in rejuvenating you and making you feel that, okay, this is me, or this is a new me I want to be. But when it comes to work very professionally, I'll be honest, I have deliberately tried for it to not affect what I'm doing. Like, whether it is my yoga, for instance, or my personal social life or my personal work life, I've tried to keep pace and keep balance with all of that. It may slow down towards the last months. I believe that will definitely happen. But until I can keep active with it, I have continued to do so. And it's been great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's been great. So yeah.
And I think if you're able to balance it like that, it's a true reflection that you're really running in line with what you should be doing. It must be an absolute passion.
Yeah.
Because I think that sometimes in life when things are really tricky or you need to slow down, it's also because you might be pushing too hard in an area that you may not be enjoying.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And like you said, if you're enjoying what you're doing and if you're enjoying the course of the journey, then just keep at it.
Yeah.
It's where your heart is happy at the end of the day. So yeah.
That's great.
If work keeps me happy, I just continue working.
Great.
That's about it.
Oh, good. So how do you find being a business owner and working in Dubai?
So thankfully, Dubai has been great since the beginning.
Yes.
I have no complaints whatsoever with the city or with the culture or with anything over here. Also, maybe because I'm an Indian. So, Dubai has been very, very close to the Indian culture. It's very close to our country as well whenever we want to travel back and forth. So from that perspective, there's nothing here that I miss out on from a lifestyle perspective. However, as a business, running a business rather, yes, I mean, like anybody else, we would see our ups and downs. As a woman, I have sat in rooms where there are only men. And I'm like, oh, so business owners are supposed to be only men? Like there are hardly any women out here. A lot of that has happened, but over the course of time, I've also attended and I've been out there so much attending networking events, being a part of, another networking group, which is called BNI, so on and so forth, where I've seen a lot of women start very low and then, suddenly grow in a couple of years to a really good level with a great revenue or running business. So from that perspective, the exposure that the city has to offer, the ability and the opportunities for startups, as well as, the networking base that is there, whether it's just Indians or expats or any other community, it's so open to everyone that, the opportunities are limitless.
Yeah, I agree with you there, especially when it comes to networking. I know that I've never quite seen anything like it with Dubai. You go to networking events and everyone is there to either help reconnect you with someone else, refer you to someone. I mean, we met at a networking event, which has been fantastic.
Yeah,
so, I couldn't, say better things about Dubai and the networking community.
Oh.
Have you found a lot of success through networking for your own business?
A lot of it, actually. Like you would not believe, but 80% of our business revenue is from word of mouth. 80, literally, is from word of mouth or networking.
Yeah, fantastic.
And that's mainly what I do as a business owner. If you ask me, what is it that you do in your job role? I network. And that's what I do. I make friends, I build relationships, and I go out to different places where they may or may not be entrepreneurs, but I know everyone has a connection to somewhere they can link me to. And that's the connection that I'm looking for always. So yes, 100%. The networking in Dubai has been great. And that has obviously led to, the referrals and the leads that come into your business as well.
Yes. It's never, Dubai being the land of opportunities has never felt so real.
Absolutely.
So how did you adapt to working in Dubai after having been in India and then in the UK and then now in Dubai?
So the transition from India to UK was a challenging one, to be honest, because I was never used to seeing expats or, talking to people with different dialects or people with different accents. So that was different. However, when I made the move from UK to Dubai, it really wasn't much for me personally because I'd already lived there for 7 years. I kind of knew what the culture holds with expats, etc. Instead, you would not believe, but my first client in Dubai as Light Digital was actually an expat, and he still continues to be my client.
Oh, nice.
So I've always looked out for working multicultural. not just whether it's the Indian community or any other particular community. It's always been multicultural. And I think that's the biggest benefit you would have of living in Dubai and working or doing your business in Dubai, because you're not restricted to a particular style of working or culture of working. Everyone's different. And I have very comfortably, worked with everyone, and I would prefer either or.
Yeah, fantastic. One thing I've noticed being in Dubai is just how many cultures there are here and how accepting people are of the cultures. We know that there are 87% expats here. And so all of the expats are also representing just so many minority communities.
Yeah.
So it's actually quite beautiful to see.
It is. And I think that's a lot of exposure and learning in its own self.
Yeah.
Because, you're no more in those four walls or in a shell living anymore. You're actually out there meeting different people, doing different things, learning different cultures, eating different foods and cuisines. And that's what makes it so exciting overall.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. Have you experienced any setbacks as a female?
Plenty. It's very sad to say, but it's also very true to say that, yes, you kind of do see those, negative comments, or, not the most, I can't say totally negative, but not the most positive or encouraging either, only because, they feel that you're a single woman entrepreneur running your own thing. Would you be able to take that pressure on? Would you be able to handle the kind of work that comes your way? Or would you be able to sit in a room full of men and, answer debates or answer questions? So all of these things are but natural.
Yes.
And it happens whether, whatever culture or whichever country you say so to be. However, with time, obviously people have advanced, and, it has helped them understand that a lot of successful women entrepreneurs, and, not just entrepreneurs, but women who are working in businesses as well, or working in other organizations, have come up from nowhere to somewhere.
Yes.
And the importance, I think, is slowly increasing. You wouldn't believe it. I'd give you an example that even once I kind of announced to people, so I kept the news to myself about my pregnancy for a very long time until I couldn't.
Yes.
And that's when we announced it. And even after that, after I started doing all the networking events, people were like, do you want to take on new projects now? You want to wait for 4 months?
Really?
Yeah, I've had that on WhatsApp with people writing to me, telling me to my face.
What potential client?
Yes. And you're like, it doesn't matter. Like, you give it to me now, you give it to me after 4 months, give me the project whenever you're comfortable. But I promise you that's not going to, affect any of the work we do. What I do today is what I'll do 4 months and 4 years later as well. So yes, you do see a lot of that, and you'd be very surprised that in this day and age, people actually think about it as well.
Wow.
Because they know that, you're running, you're pulling the weight of your business. How would you do it when you're not around?
Yeah, absolutely.
Without realizing that the idea of a business is not for you to always work in the business. It's also about working on the business. So there will be times when you'll be like, my team is available to assist you with whatever you need. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's crazy. It's funny. I mean, I can't really contribute. I don't have any kids of my own. However, women that have children while they're working are literally super women. So I think that they can handle projects and whatnot during that time. It's just wild. But...
Yeah. And this is when you're there are standing so confident.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I'm so confident. Why aren't you?
Yeah.
That's the question you ask.
There's no problems here. Okay.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So having had your business for 7 years, you must have seen a huge amount of change from year 1 to year 7.
Yeah.
How has that been, especially when you think about things like social media coming into the mix?
Oh, there's been a big evolution, I feel, from ever since we started to now. Like, for example, when we started, everyone's attention was only Facebook. There was practically not so much of Instagram for businesses happening at all. But now with time, it's all about Instagram. Like, until 2 years back, I had to completely reform my team in a way, only because of the fact that Reels came in. And, previous to that, we would not do any video shoots or video editing or any of that because it just wasn't so required. And now any project we take on for social media has to have Reels as a key part of it. So, I need to make sure that the resources we have at hand are able to commit to that. Very recently, it's been ChatGPT. So people have been coming and asking me, do you still need a content writer? Because you've got ChatGPT doing all the work. So evolution is a very, very key, essential part of digital marketing. It has been the case for the past 15 years, I would say. However, having said that, we are kind of always ready for it. We know what's changing. We know the repercussions and its pros and cons of whatever it's going to cause to a business or on a business. And, as marketeers, we're constantly trying to keep ourselves ahead of the game, staying updated with everything that's coming, and also understanding how is it going to affect a business. Like, whether Bard and ChatGPT are going to really change the game, or is it just a hey-ho right now and, it's going to fall back into its place eventually. So all these things, we try and keep ahead of the game. We try and inform the companies or the clients that we are working with as well on the similar lines that, be aware this is happening or that is happening, or this may affect your site or it may not, and so on and so forth. So yeah, but, staying up to date, knowing what's going to come and knowing how it's going to affect your business is the key over here.
Yeah, amazing. I also feel one of the biggest changes as well is the difference in how you market your own brand by way of video. So like 10 years ago, it was a little bit more polished, more refined, beautiful, photogenic. Whereas now it's like you're real and you're pointing sort of things on the camera. And it's short form as well, because people just don't have the attention to take in things that are a lot longer. Yeah. How are you finding? Because I've seen your Instagram. What is your Instagram for everyone?
So my Instagram for everyone is kind of, it just helps a lot with clients and people watching it, because the information I may give may or may not be relevant to you, may or may not be directly useful to you. But the fact that it's coming your way is always a nice thing. So I think the information shared really helps. Besides that, it just has always helped increasing my credibility as a personal brand. So for instance, if I get a referral from somewhere, the first thing people try and do is look up Light Digital or look up Varuna Mehta on Google or on an Instagram or on a Facebook. And the fact that they find me there talking about, what I'm trying to do with my business, or what I'm trying to do with social media, or what I'm trying to do in digital marketing, kind of really helps.
Yeah.
So it just increases the credibility of a person and a business, and that helps finally leading into your profitability as well. So
fantastic. Wonderful. And your handle?
It's Varuna Jagwani.
Wonderful. So what advice would you give expectant mamas who are also managing their own businesses and facing or going through challenging times?
I would say do whatever you're comfortable with. Keeping aside what people have to say about your pregnancy journey, or, how you should be when you're expecting, listen to your own self, listen to your own body, listen to, what you feel like doing and what keeps you happy. Because at the end of the day, whatever keeps you happy is what keeps your baby happy. It's as simple as that. That's a scientific rule that's been pretty much proven. So listen to everyone, but at the end of the day, do what your heart says you should do. So if you feel you want to work more, or you want to work less, or you want to sleep more or sleep less, eat less, more less, whatever it is, just listen to yourself and do that. And that will automatically put you on that path of being very satisfied with yourself and not having the guilt that, oh, I did not do this enough, or I did not do that enough. That's definitely one takeaway, because everyone's journey is very, very different. I've spoken to so many women who have had children, and I cannot really find a similar match that, okay, this has happened to you, this happened to me too. You will never find that match. Everyone's unique. The doctors will tell you the same. So listen to your own self and your own mind.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And then our final question is, what is the best piece of career advice? Career advice that you've ever been given?
Okay, so this piece of advice is something that I read in a book, as well as it is always reiterated by the business coach that I go to. And it's from Tony Robbins, and it says, energy flows where attention goes. So, wherever it is that you're focusing on, your energy drives you there automatically. And I've kind of tested this as well, because sometimes, you don't know where you're headed. You don't have a goal in place. You don't have a focus of action in place. Yes. You don't know what you're doing. You're just doing things on a rotation, because that's become your routine. And that's where I feel that, you need to break that monotony and tell yourself that today, this is what I want to achieve, or in 6 months, this is where I want to be, or in 5 years, this is where I want to be. The moment you start thinking of what your focus or what your goals are, your energy automatically drives you there. And then you suddenly feel like you're manifesting it as if it was meant to be for you. So yeah, that would definitely be my key takeaway, because I have tried to practice it, not just from a professional perspective, but also personal. Like even yoga teaches you the same thing to a certain extent, put your focus or put your breath in the place and you will see your life flowing in the same direction. So yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. Thank you. What a wonderful way to end. It has been so nice to have you here with our first episode. I really feel like we should have had some balloons or something, like party celebrate.
Yeah,
exactly. Celebrate this and also your pregnancy. But yeah, all the very best with both your business and also the arrival of little Bob. And thanks for coming on board.
Thank you so much. It's been a great experience. Pleasure, and I wish you all the best.
Do you want a hug? We're here at the Myco Studios and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.